Hello and welcome to this Jane's weather update. It is Friday the 13th of September and we've had a bit of activity in southeast Queensland, northeast New South Wales overnight. That is moving away during the day. There's not much happening in the southwest. In the southeast, we're covered in cloud. And if you look what's happening down to the south here, there is some very chilly air in behind this that is headed our way for the weekend. So let's get into this. We'll start with the recent falls over the past week. We had a rain band come across the southeast. It kind of dissipated as it moved inland, as they always do, and then reinvigorated just a little bit as it came through the interior part here. So it has again been a mainly coastal feature has come through, but we're starting to see a bit of activity that is in that interior part, which is also dampening the heat that was there. Okay, let's have a look at rainfall. Here we are, the pattern for today. Here is that system that's moving out of southeast Queensland, so it's moving out over the ocean. Here is the big thing that is coming into the southeast. Now, this is going to be cold. I know August was overall warm and it's September. You would think that, no, the cold air is done. You would be very, very sorely mistaken because there is some very, very cold air that is moving into the southeast this weekend. We'll unpack that in a sec. We have high pressure that is sitting in through here. That is going to remain over essentially South Australia over the next couple of days. And that means we've got warmer air moving into the southwest. All of the colds over here in the east, all of the warmth is over in the southwest. Let's have a look at the week ahead. So this is the 8-day, so Friday through to Friday. Here's the remains of this that's coming out across southeast Queensland, northeast New South Wales. Systems coming into the southeast that don't penetrate very far inland, and a bit of activity starting to develop up the top there. Very quiet over in the southwest, thanks to the high pressure sitting here over the Bight. Okay, let's have a look at this in a different way. So this is a new feature that is coming soon to Jane's Weather. It's our mapping, which I'm really, really excited to be able to show you this here. So I've got our AI forecast. That's the forecast you see when you have a look at your graph here. So this main forecast here, that's the AI forecast, which it says down through here. So this is it in a map form, and we're looking at daily rain, so the rain for the 24 hours up until 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Why do we do that? Because that's 12Z in the models, it just works. Anyway, so 10 p.m. is what it is. So it's the rain for that one. So here we have, move back into this, we're at the start here. So AI forecast, and it is for Friday, the 24 hours to Friday. Here's the activity. Here's this moving through southeast Queensland and northeast New South Wales. Not much left over the interior here, hardly anything happening in the southwest. What's happening in Western Tasmania? Moving forward one, and now we are on Saturday. So this is the 24 hours to Saturday night. Here is the big surge of cold weather that's coming up into the southeast. Not much happening over here, clearing out of here, but a bit coming onto the coast. Heading into Sunday, that moves away. There's just a bit here, not right in the southwest, but we've got this moving up the coast and starting to develop up the top here. Very cold showers moving up the east coast in through here in behind that second cold front. Here we have activity as we go into Monday, coming down into these interior parts, just a little bit clipping the southeast. Heading into Tuesday, activity, but not quite making it down into the southeast or any connection into the south. Still a very interior into the north type system. Heading into Wednesday, here's the next big weather system coming into the southeast. Again, very quiet in the southwest, and this activity continues in the north, so we're finally seeing a bit of a break to those conditions there. Heading into Thursday, that one moves away. Then maybe another one coming on Friday to Saturday that could have a tropical connection, and then moving away on Sunday. Very higgledy-piggledy that far away, but it is 10 days down the track. Okay, I really want to show you just how cold it is as we go into the weekend in the southeast, extending right up into Queensland too. So this here is rainfall. I've now chosen hourly, and we are at midnight early on Saturday morning. These lines here show how low the snow can fall. Now, this isn't an exact one. It's just a representation of what the thickness of the air is. So how tall the column of air is above you. If it's a really short column of air, then it's really cold air. If it's a really tall column of air, then it's really warm air. So that can give us an approximation of what the snow could fall down to. All right, so this shows 1,600 metres here in southern Victoria. That's at midnight. Let's move forward. And the rain is each hour, how that's going to come through. So we're moving through here. Let's get to about 6 a.m. Here we are in Tasmania. Have a look at that. That's 100 metres, 200 metres. That is some very low level snow coming into Tasmania. We'll focus on that for the moment. So that's about the 200 to 100 metre mark as we're going through Saturday morning. So we will see snow to near sea level in southern parts, even central parts of Tasmania on Saturday. So that's pretty impressive. Looking your eyes further north into Victoria here, there's the wet weather. It's a cold, wet and windy Saturday. And on this, there's 600 metres. So that first purple line, let's watch that one move northwards. So there we go. We're 600 metres just crossing that coastline there as we are midday on Saturday into the afternoon, 600, 500 metres, even 400 metres right on the coast. So we may see some snow in some exciting parts in southern parts of Victoria too. So that just shows you just how cold this air mass is that is coming up. Why? The high pressure is sitting over the Bight. It is angling that cold front so that the fetch of air in behind it, as in where that air actually comes from, is literally coming from way down near Antarctica. So that's what we've got to look forward to for the weekend. I'll go into some more details about that soon. All right, so let's have a look at next week as a whole. We had a look at that 8-day rainfall and day by day on where that's going. Let's have a look at it as an overall. Now, this is from the Euro model, and it shows us in terms of precipitation whether it's likely to be above or below average. It is from Monday onwards, so it doesn't include the weekend. Here we have a bit of a drying tendency in through here, but here's all of that activity over the top that may start to come down later in the week. We may get a connection coming down into the south. If you're inland and you're desperate for rain, this is very good news for you that we're starting to see that connection happening. So that means there may be something exciting on the horizon, but it's at least late next week, as we saw in those maps earlier. In terms of hot or cold, wow, that's a bit of a difference. Australia was record-breaking in terms of August. That was for several states and territories and the country as a whole in terms of how much warmth we had because we didn't have any cold outbreaks come through. Now we're starting to see those, even though, yes, it is the middle of September. Right. So this has got all of that cold air coming up into here, but we do have some warmth still lingering in the southwest there. Why? High pressure sitting over the Bight, cold air comes up in through here, warms up as it goes across the top, and then warm air comes down into the southwest. Let's have a look at week 2, which would be the last week of September. So this is September 23rd through to the 30th, that Monday week beginning on the Monday. And that is an exciting thing to see. So we've got a fair chance of above average rain. So it doesn't mean that it's going to be completely everywhere is going to see above average rain, but the odds are there. It means that the systems can move through and actually deliver something. So this is a very encouraging look at things. This is the week 1 and then week 2. Nice. Having a look at the temperature profile, this is week 1, i.e. next week, and into the second week. So that looks like overall a cooler end to September than what we have seen. In fact, September may be colder than it was in August. Interesting. Okay, so that's what we have there. Let's have a look at what might be causing some of these things. This is the MJO. We really start to have a look at this from this time of year onwards in particular, excuse me, because it could indicate that there's a lot of tropical activity just to our north that we can tap into and create rain out of that. How it has been, we had a little drive-by, you could so to speak, that came in through here in the green zone, so that's near Australia, and that one then it weakened off, and now we're in through here, so it's just weak at the moment, very wishy-washy, but this shows us that we're likely to see another little surge, which would be representative of what we saw, all of that tropical moisture starting to come down from the north. So this here, if you're looking for rain to come into the inland, this is what you like to see. All right, sea surface temperature anomaly. Let's look further ahead. Over in our Pacific Ocean box, we've got all of that blue coming through. We've even got it out through here. It has deepened a little bit more since last week. Over in our Indian Ocean box, this here has definitely deepened since last week, and we've got a bit of an imbalance. The atmosphere hates imbalances, or you could say loves imbalances. It tries to sort them out. And so that creates a circulation. Imbalances are the key to get things kicking off and moving. So imbalance between what's happening over here off Indonesia, what's happening out in this box here, and what's happening here, and what's happening off these parts of Indonesia and northeast Queensland, well, Queensland as you can say. So that's the situation in the surface of the ocean. Let's have a look what the projections are. Now, this is very fresh guidance. It came through overnight, so you may be hearing this first here. Here we have Pacific Ocean. So we're looking at that box out through there. How much blue is likely to develop into it based on what these forecasts are, how cold it is likely to go. If it was going up and through here, that would be yellows reappearing in that box out in the Pacific Ocean. That's not what we're looking at. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 models, and then last month we had 3 models with 1 on the threshold. Now have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is now 6 out of the 7 models that are on that threshold or below. There's only 1 that is an outlier now. Last month that was up in here, it was dead even, and now it has come down to here. Interestingly, this is the Australian model. The rest of the globe thinks, yes, La Nina is definitely on the cards. It's pushing it down into that, whereas it's the Australian one that is going near it but not crossing. Nothing is going up through here. El Nino, absolutely not possible. Here we are. It's whether we're going to go into La Nina, actually cross that threshold and encourage all of that moisture to be pushed towards Australia. And this indicates that 6 or 7 of them do think yes, and the 8th one isn't far away. Okay, very interesting news there. Let's have a look at the Indian Ocean. So looking at what's happening in the box over there. Here we've been moving down over the past couple of weeks. We've got 1 that is crossing this threshold soon. We've got all of these just sort of sitting in through here. So no one likes a positive IOD anymore. Some of them like the hint of a negative IOD. Negative pushes that moisture towards Australia. Positive pushes it away. So heading down into the green zone here, we are nearing the end of the period that can have an impact on us. It's more prevalent as we move through here, which is when we were just sitting in that wishy-washy neutral. This may indicate that there could be a little bit of a push from the Indian Ocean, but it's definitely not a strong one. All right, so let's have a look at the overall forecast for October, November, December, that 3-month period as a whole. This is from the Weather Bureau, issued yesterday. It likes all central and eastern parts, generally, to have the odds in the favour of above average rain. In the western part, it's 50-50. It is sitting on the fence. It's neither strongly this direction or that direction. All of this here would indicate that, yes, we are liking moisture to be coming in from the Pacific Ocean, aka, otherwise known as La Nina. Another part of it is, though, let's have a look at our sea surface temperature anomaly, and we do still have this very warm pool of water that is sitting out in the Tasman Sea that can be another source of moisture. Think back to the end of spring, summer, and the very start of autumn last year into the early this year. We had an El Nino in the Pacific, so all of this here was yellow, but we also had yellow off the coast of Queensland. So we didn't get that normal shut off of moisture because we still had this moisture here to play with. We also had the incredibly warm Tasman Sea that was also acting as a source of moisture. And do you remember what that did? That pushed moisture right into South Australia and through here. There were some huge falls, November, December, January, all coming through that southeastern part, plus what happened in Queensland, thanks to that push coming in from the waters off the coast there. So even without what's happening through here, we have discovered that we can deliver wet weather over those summer periods. And this tells us we still have warmth in through here. We've got warmth in through here. We've got cooling out through there now. A lot of them are suggesting La Nina, so that would be a good push from the Pacific Ocean. So Pacific Ocean is ticking the box, I would suggest, and the Tasman Sea can also help that out. So that could mean that all of these areas have a better chance of above average rainfall because the moisture sources are there. Now, what could go wrong with that? Tick, yes, we've got the moisture source. In order to make it rain, you have to have 2 things work together. You have to have moisture, you also have to have instability. If high pressure sits in through here, then no, it can't turn it into rain. If highs are there, we don't get that rainfall. We need the low pressure system to move through. So we've got one part of that equation. Moisture says yes. In terms of instability, that's what we don't know about, and that's why week on week we come back and have a look at these, what all the weather models are doing to say where that rain is likely to be pushed over the next week or so. Okay, so that's where we are there. That's what the Australian model is suggesting. If we have a look at the Euro model, again, October, November, December, this is the same as what we saw last week. It only updates once a month. So this was the run that came through on the 1st of September. This again has green in through here. It also has some green here, but not down in the southwest. So Euro for Central and Eastern Australia also says yes. If we have a look at Canada, this says yes in a big way. Again, hasn't updated since last week. It has got moisture for all of those things, including in the west, but not in the southwest. We were concerned about what the CFS model, which is the USA model, was doing last week, and it is still doing the same thing. So this one has updated. That is the 12th of September that it was run, and this still has this below average rainfall. You can see it at this end of the scale in through these northern parts. Now, I'm a little bit confused why it is thinking that. Does it not like that moisture be coming in from the Pacific Ocean? It's October, November, December. They're modelling. Let's move through to Nino here. The USA model, it's the one that is at the very furthest part of this. It is suggesting, yes, 100% La Nina, let's go. And it has it in a strong way. Yet, this modelling shows, I'm not really liking it. What you will see here is maybe it does like all of this Tasman Sea moisture to push things into the southeast. So that's another tick in the box for that one. But this here is something still to be concerned about. If we have a look through history over the past couple of runs, it is still there. If we go back one more, it is still there in a big way. And one more before that, it is still there. So this particular model isn't liking the rain party to come into Queensland and the north as we move through October, November, December. The rest of them like it. This one doesn't. All right, we'll see what it says next week. Let's go into our forecasting. We'll do a quick whip across the country. This here is Brisbane. We have lost the warm air, the showers and storms. The last of these are moving out now. It clears up as the rest of the day goes on. We're in 22, 23, 25, so warming up a little bit, but there's nothing big on the horizon for southeast Queensland. So the activity was yesterday, last night, this morning, and now it is moving away. Let's go down to Sydney. Now, if you think Melbourne, very famous for its changeable weather, up, down, we're on a roller coaster. Hello, Sydney, you're on an absolute roller coaster. 17, we're on the cool side today. Cold front has just gone through. We've had the cloud from that. We've got the little bit of shower activity that's coming in. The sky should clear up later in the day. However, tomorrow, temperature shoots back up again. We're there around the 22, 23 mark. The cold change arrives here, 6 p.m. on your Saturday night. I believe there's a big game of footy in the city on Saturday night. That may be impacted by that. The rainfall suggests not a huge amount, but will go from warm to cold with a very gusty southerly wind. So that's your Saturday night in Sydney. And then moving into Sunday, that would be out of place in the middle of winter because we've got that huge cold outbreak that's making its way all the way up to Sydney, and you will feel it most on Sunday. Okay, heading into Melbourne, where there's a lot to unpack here. Today, it is mostly cloudy. There's just the very odd light shower moving through. Nothing to be concerned about. We don't even have any wind. So it's just a bit of a blah day. It's not as cold as what it was yesterday, so we're moving up to 17, 18. Heading into Saturday, oh my God, hold on to your hats. So we've got this gusty southerly wind. We know the air has originated from near Antarctica. It's got some proper cold air in it. This will be 9, 10 degrees for much of the time. And let's move this out to have a look at the pro feature here. It all starts around 3, 4 a.m., so sort of 2 a.m. onwards. If you're out tonight, be home by 2 and then you won't get wet. So I can't believe I'm giving advice for your Friday night plans and when you should be home and in bed. All right, so this shows that all of the models have it starting pretty much at the same time. So we'll get a burst of wet weather on the roof as you're going through the night. The cold air really comes in and then it tapers off in the mid-afternoon with just a little bit left to follow, and then fairly dry for your Saturday night, but freezing. So Saturday, very cold in Melbourne. That can also contain some of that wintry hail, so it might look like snow on the ground, but it's not that. It bounced on its way down, wintry hail. All right, then on Sunday, we've got clouds, so not quite the cold start, but inland, yes, we're looking at some freezing temperatures as we go into Sunday morning. Not much wet weather as you're moving through that southern part of Victoria, though, just clearing out of East Gippsland. Into Monday, the cloud is here, so we're not seeing those freezing temperatures. Again, inland we'll be seeing those frosty mornings, and there's not much to follow there. Let's have a look at Adelaide. very consistent thanks to that high pressure system sitting over the Bight. There's just a little bit of wet weather from this system as it moves through, and we're not really feeling the proper burst of cold air just off to the side to not get that. So 16, 16, 16, 16, 18. So very persistent pattern thanks to that high. And over on the other side in Perth, it is a warm stretch thanks to that high sitting over the Bight, directing all of that warmer air down into the southwest and not seeing any precipitation as that one comes through. Just want to show you some temperatures as well on this mapping feature here. So we're kind of looking at the southeast. Here we are, the AI forecast, Sunday 5 a.m. and this is temperature. And you can see here we're moving into those really cold parts. So all of these bits here, I'm not going to get a thing. All of these bits here are down around freezing. Anything in this purple zone is less than freezing. And that is the air temperature that's up here. Imagine how cold it would be on the ground, which is where your crops are. And see how it extends right up here into Queensland. So by Sunday morning, if you are inland, it is very chilly indeed, and we're moving into a proper frosty part of the weather pattern. That's it from me for now. As always, head to janesweather.com and I'll have the next big update for you on Friday.